get people to buy his level of bullshit again?
Is that a question?
That was more of a declarative statement. I will say, let me ask you this. I'll ask you a question and then you can begin to answer because you are under oath. You can pretty much refer to somebody as being a liar and they can't take any action against you if you have actual documentation of them telling lies. That pretty much removes any defense. So Colin Thompson is a liar. Your thoughts?
Yeah, Colin Thompson is a liar. We could say that as the party that was the lone party active from the creditor standpoint throughout the bankruptcy proceedings. We were involved. We wanted to find out what happened. Where did our money go?
Oh shit.
How was this man behaving as the head of...
Where did other people's money go?
Yeah. Well, again, it's important to note our situation is a little different than everyone else's. Everyone kind of has a different situation. With ours, he stole the money. It's a little different because he had the choice to send us money. He decided not to.
Yes. But we enjoyed having found out where a lot of this money went, ours and other people's.
We have a better idea of everything than probably anyone. Quite frankly, we have all the documents that they submitted. We have all the documents that Podcast One submitted. We have documents that they don't know we have. We've done a lot of due diligence. We've done a lot of research. We've done a lot of investigating. So, yeah, we didn't expect the bankruptcy to give us back the money that was stolen. That's not what bankruptcy court does. Bankruptcy court, to be very honest with you, you could even ask a bankruptcy attorney, bankruptcy court is there to fuck creditors. And unfortunately, they presume that the person applying for bankruptcy isn't a crook. And we knew that there was very little that could really be done in bankruptcy court. This was his game. This was his plan.
But the key part of bankruptcy court is that the court part of it still means you're under oath. You have to participate in discovery. You have to file documents. You have to answer questions. And you basically have to perform all of the functions as if you were in any other court in the land, which gives people an excellent opportunity, just speaking in just abstract terms, Brian, and not specifically about any ongoing litigation. It gives people an excellent opportunity to figure out who done it and how they done it and get the stuff to prove it.
Yeah, and a lot of people didn't want to get involved because of how costly it would be, which led to some funny moments in the bankruptcy court where the judge would kind of question how much we were spending to try to get answers, and at the same time say, how come none of the other creditors are here? Well, they don't want to spend the money that this is all costing to try to get answers. And Colin certainly didn't expect us to, and he certainly tried to use some retaliatory tactics in the bankruptcy to get rid of us, and none of them really worked at all.
I don't know why he didn't expect that, but I believe that's almost exactly what I told him. And when he first, well, I didn't tell him, I told old Rob Ellen, I said, we are going to get our money eventually, some way or another. Give us our money or we will not go away, ever.
And we're going to talk about Rob Ellen in the future, and we're going to talk a lot more about the bankruptcy in the future. There's a lot to talk about. And on the topic of the bankruptcy, before we even talk about our lawsuit, there are deposition videos. Stephen P. New deposed Colin Thompson for, I want to say, 7 hours in August. And there's more than that, too. But we have videos if you want to see. It's easy to make yourself a baby face when you're writing your own bio. It's not as easy when people see you and hear you and watch you. So if you want to see Colin Thompson in action, if you want to hear Stephen P. New in action, 877-50-STEVE, get even with Stephen. NewLawOffice.com. There's a plug on the experience. Wow. But if you want to check that out, it's on the official Arcadian Vanguard YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and search for Arcadian Vanguard. It's also on Twitter, all sorts of social media. It will be on more social media very soon.
And let me just flesh it out real quick, because you may have glossed over, because we know what you're talking about. But for the people, yes, this is a video of an official deposition under oath of Stephen P. New examining, cross-examining, whatever the terminology is, of Colin Thompson, the cast media weasel in question.
Should look like an adult here.
100 years dedicated
All right.
to the art of engineering.
He's not winning.
I thought I was going to have a problem.
I will be taking the Day Beyond Challenge.
Beyond 30 Days
It's
Challenge.
gonna become like 30 days.
30 days.
I don't know what's gonna happen.
Can I actually give up meat?
Chicken, fish, I love meat.
I think when people think about plant-based,
Just for vegans and vegetarians.
Oh, it's processed, which I find interesting since often the people who say that act like the party will just fell from the sky.
Yeah, he's
Young meat is
fucked.
under attack. Medicine their ads and back to
On our internet disinformation campaigns portraying their products as even worse for you than beef jerky. Hamburger, proteins,
I'm getting an abundance of protein.
Powerful.
Fueling yourself.
That we and with his attorney by his side, and there's some wonderful exchanges. And this video is obviously, since Arcadian Vanguard is the entity that is involved officially with this bankruptcy, this video is Arcadian Vanguard property and is on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube channel. We do everything by the book over here. And we encourage you to look at a squirming, sweating. I hope you put them up in order so people can see. First he's got a jacket, and then he loses the jacket, and then there's another button loose on the knee, he's swiping his head, and then he's just, he's almost shirtless by the time this thing is over with.
Well, after the first break, Stephen, let's just say we have reason to believe that Stephen caused Colin to feel quite upset and that they were afraid about continuing. Well, that's based on what his lawyer called our lawyer about. You know, Stephen did a great job because, you know.
The whole crying thing is hearsay, and we can't prove it.
Not on video. It's not on video.
Not on video, it's just being talked about by many people.
But again, we have the deposition videos up. There'll be more. We'll talk more about them in a moment. We have a lawsuit. We'll talk more about this in the future as well. We're coming back with more about this regularly.
Yeah, the other lawsuit has been going on for a bit now, based on the information that we were able to obtain in the previous proceeding. And this type of lawsuit is the one where somebody's going to say, yeah, you need to give these sub-bitches their money. Well, that type of lawsuit.
If they look at the facts, that may be what happens, and let's see what a jury thinks of Mr. Thompson. But we have sued Colin Thompson, as well as his co-conspirators, his wife, Christine Thompson, his father, Rod Thompson, his father-in-law, who's currently harboring him, or he lives with. I don't know if I'm allowed to say harboring. If I'm not, strike that from the record. But he currently lives with Matthew Yu, and Podcast One, and Live One. And again, our situation, the Cornette shows, the Cast Media is different than the Obama situation, it's different than Brandon Schaub's situation, it's different than any other shows. And, you know, when you wanted a fight, you're going to get a fight. And we got the facts. We got a lot here. You brought something up before. I know we're going to play a little bit of audio here. This may be a new recurring feature. You brought up how Colin's reemerged. And it was part of the plan. We knew this was kind of coming. Where they relaunched the Cast Media website. They relaunched Colin Thompson, or launched ColinThompson.com, and he put up statements to the industry. Please share these deposition videos of any one of those podcasters with the industry, giving a completely false representation of what happened in Cast Media based on facts. And he has lied several times in there while trying to obviously posture and present himself to an industry that he needs. He can't get work anywhere else. This guy's unemployable, in my eyes. So he's now trying to present himself as an industry reformer, which, if you enter into bankruptcy, you realize in no way is he an industry reformer. Industry reform means creators get paid and then pay the advertisers. Creator first. That's industry reform. Not, hey, we came up with a new
The only time you've applied reform to this guy is when you talk about reform school.
Yeah, but when you come up with a new business model, which is basically, here's how we'll get paid and get you your money and you'll believe us, you've already poisoned the well. Here's from the press release they sent out about Cast Media. Cast Media is a leading podcast studio and network known for premium, genre-defining original storytelling. I actually know what shows they have and I know what their numbers are. They are not industry-leading anything. And if you want to go look at the reviews of his shows, and this isn't us because we never even talked about this. If you ever want to go look at the reviews of his shows, The Vigilante, Lost in Panama, the big one's The Opportunist, Good Cult, Go look at the reviews all over Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts. The audience for those shows hate those shows now. The audience for those shows say, it turns out The Opportunist isn't good without the actual host and producer who got the show to be popular, who left Cast Media after all the bullshit. Let me go back to this. With a slate of critically acclaimed shows, Cast blends cinematic storytelling with the immediacy of podcasting. This guy went to the Court Bauer School of Buzzwords. Ridiculous. Founded by Colin Thompson, the company has a renewed focus on transparency and long-term creator.
A renewed focus on transparency since the last time we got caught.
Well, it would, in this case, it would just be a focus on transparency because there was no transparency before. And long-term creator empowerment. And is building a stronger, more resilient future media ecosystem through innovative content and industry reform.
So last night he used him. Honestly, nothing better than when a guy brings this out.
I seriously can't stop thinking about him.
Him too.
The industry reform needs to be the industry saying we're not going to work with this guy. The industry reform needs to be the advertising agency saying we're not going to give this guy any business after he previously took the business we gave him and been paying. The industry reform needs to be to get rid of people who are grifters. People who are grifting on podcasting, looking for suckers, whether they're investors or people who don't know his name and reputation and what he's done, or people that work there will be gullible enough to work with him. That's the problem. The problem isn't the industry. The industry for independent podcasters is wonderful. The problem is the network system, and the problem is the people like Colin who just want to look at other people as marks, for lack of a better term, that will fund their lifestyle.
Well, and he lived high on the hog, as Aunt Lola would say, for a couple of years there.
Don't call his wife that.
No, I'm not talking about her. For heaven's sake, I don't want to insult hogs like that. No, I'm saying that he made it for a couple of years, and now, like you said, he's in the in-laws' basement. He's got lawsuits hanging over his head. He needs work. He's out there. He's still trying to exploit his, and we'll be talking about this in the weeks to come, folks. He's still trying to exploit his contacts at Podcast One, but the reason why those people are being sued, that Brian mentioned earlier, is because there's a statute in the state of California where he was conducting his various activities that if you defraud someone, that you and or anyone that benefits from the proceeds of that defraudation can be hauled into court, and that's exactly who is now being hauled into court. And we have a variety of information, as Brian said. We don't want to go into, we got all kinds of stuff to do today, but I want to go to the clip because this is an example, folks, of what you can see the video on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube channel, all the deposition videos, they're clearly marked. You can see the weasel begin to sweat and melt as questions are bombarding him, and he's trying to figure out, wait a minute, what lie did I tell before so I can tell the same one again, that type of thing on his face. And this is an example of it. I feel like we're on the Tonight Show, setting up a clip, but
Yes!
the subject of this, believe it or not, folks, is Howie Mandel. And the fact that in some fashion, Colin Thompson and Cast Media had ended up renting studio space from Howie Mandel and or his company, and then had to do a settlement and basically got kicked out of the place. Brian, you can probably recap that a little bit better than I.
And we're going to play some audio here, and again, the full section here
Okay.
is available on the Arcadian
I got
Vanguard
it,
YouTube
thanks.
channel. It's on my Twitter page. I know Jim retweeted it, so anyone can check it out. Or just go to YouTube and
Thanks for
search
joining.
Deposition of Colin Thompson or Cast Media.
At least I just
Colin
checking this
Thompson,
out.
Howie Mandel.
At least these are free to ride. These little power
There's a studio
twisters.
space in a warehouse.
$2.99.
Howie Mandel's company
But
on Havenhurst in Van Nuys, California.
See,
And it is
and just from like this,
the address of business.
then you
for
just switch
Castile.
it, and it's like, oh,
Although
okay,
Collins
go like
living in
that.
St. Louis,
And then freaking
Lakes are still California.
go back and do it the other
Collins
side.
living in St. Louis and has been since they sold the
Then
house.
it's like,
that
okay, do it like that.
they had put in a
Go
trust.
out. Just all crazy things you can do with it.
Stole the address of this studio. So in questioning Colin about
They're
this
just dangerous
studio,
sticks. They go boing, boing, boing.
there's a bunch of stuff on the bankruptcy petition.
Yeah.
Studio
Seemed to like,
equipment, furniture that are
kick
assets
my
of
fucking
Castile
ass.
that Colin doesn't know where they are. And then finally he says maybe they were part of the settlement.
Diesel baby.
For rent that he says
And
it wasn't
don't mind
rented.
the mess.
I believe here he says that
Don't mind the mess. I don't give a fuck what you
they
do.
knew they wouldn't be able
Because I'm not
to
gonna
pay,
listen.
but they had months left on the lease.
I mean, I might
Yeah,
listen.
according to what he says in his video, go watch it. According to him, the settlement was, we won't pay any more that's left on the lease. You get to keep all of our furniture and all of our equipment, and I get to use an office there, at least up to this point, which is August 1st, 2024. So let's go to this audio, and we'll have a funny little end here, and I hope I explained this well. Here is Colin talking to
Sorry, I'm like freaking big.
position August 1st, 2024, Santa Monica, California.
Fortnite. No, I don't play Fortnite. I'm gonna play freaking PUBG here. No shit. I invest in some Roblox and stuff. Anyways, thanks for joining. Hope you guys are freaking but yeah, I'm commenting stuff like leaving shit and I don't mind supporting y'all. Shit. That's all we can do, right? Just support each other.
To celebrate Father's Day, we're offering 10% off special Father's Day gift cards. Perfect way to say thanks for every cash, catch, and memory. Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's.
You don't know what that is on the balance sheet. Where is the office furniture that's valued at $29,385.81, Mr. Thompson?
I would assume that that would have been part of the settlement agreement that we already discussed with the lease, the place that we were renting.
What's the settlement agreement with Howie Mandel have to do with $29,395.81 worth of furniture that you list as an asset of Cast Media as of January 31, 2024?
I don't know if you guys listen to or watch wrestling or Cornette.
Settlement deal.
That's who this is.
For the remainder of what we owed. For the remainder of that lease was that we would do essentially a trade of equal value. That would be the equipment for the remainder of what we own the lease. So they got the use of the equipment. We didn't have to pay the remainder of the lease. We continued to have access to the office and the studio, thereafter for a specified period of time.
Why are you still listing office furniture that went to Howie Mandel or his company or whomever in 2023 as an asset of Cast Media Inc. in January of 2024?
I don't know.
Shouldn't be on there, should it?
That's not a good answer.
You should know. You're the CEO.
Okay, we're gonna stop this now. You're badgering the witness. You're telling him what he should and shouldn't know. He's answered the question already. For you to scold him and tell him what he should and shouldn't know is not productive.
The non-speaking objection on the record, Ms. Cohen.
My objection is you're badgering the witness.
I'm not badgering. I'm not Wolverine. I'm not any other rodent thing, Mr. Thompson. Put a good non-speaking objection on the record.
Objection, badgering.
Badgering isn't even an objection. Charles, this would be like you look at through the federal rules of evidence, federal rules of civil procedure, and everything else today. Mr. Thompson, if you made a deal whereby Howie Mandel or his company or whomever got this $29,385 worth of furniture in 2023, it shouldn't be listed as an asset in a bankruptcy petition as of January 2024, correct?
I don't know. We would have to investigate that.
All right. We will. Studio equipment. $24,748.26. Tell me about that.
That is under our fixed assets.
The total current assets.
Oh, yeah, but fixed assets under total current assets. No, it's not under.
No, it's not under total fixed assets.
See, like, how
Was the
posture?
studio equipment part of
See how
it for
slash?
Howie Mandel?
Fix the posture. You know, like you get a little
Was
taller
the
too.
studio equipment
Yeah,
part of the
no.
deal with Howie Mandel? We gave our landlord
Shoulders roll
equipment
back.
and furniture in that settlement agreement.
So
Get
this
your back on.
$24,748.26 was part of the 2023 deal with Howie Mandel or his company, correct?
Just roll
I
back.
don't know, I would have to go back and investigate.
All right.
Like,
And if I
because
ask you the
we're too
same
much like
question about
this
why
these days.
equipment that was a part of a 2023
Really?
settlement is still listed as a cast media asset, you can't answer that question, can you?
Objection, Ms. Castor, witness's prior testimony.
Nope. You said, I don't know, I'll have to check, I'll have to get back to you, that kind of thing with respect to office furniture. I'm asking, is your question the same relative to studio equipment at $24,748.26?
Is my question the same?
Is your answer the same?
Correct, I would have to look at the detail and investigate.
All right, so let's make sure Cast Media doesn't own office furniture or studio equipment totaling those amounts as of January 2024, does it?
They'll kick your ass.
I'm not aware of that.
They really will. Like, it's not.
Equipment outside of
They'll
what we
kick your
provided,
ass.
as part of that settlement agreement.
So why is it listed as an asset?
I don't know, but it's possible that it wasn't updated in the accounting software.
All right. Anything else on this page that hasn't been updated?
I don't know.
Well, let me stop it here for a second, and we have another an added feature to this. But let me just say, when he says, we need to do this, we need to do that, Cast Media is one person.
Holy crap, dude! I'm like,
This guy's in for a roller coaster ride, I'm sure.
I can't believe I'm splitting
Cast
this
Media is
much.
run and controlled by Colin
This is
Thompson.
ridiculous.
Colin Thompson owned
I'm not even doing that
100%
much.
stock.
I mean, it's hot, but not that bad. Anyways,
For the company, Colin Thompson.
I was gonna wait till the end of Jim Cornette, but I'm fucking done. Freaking have a good one. Thanks for stopping by.
Well, at some point, potentially in the future.